Do you have a good work-life balance, or are you completely and totally drained? Because from all of the coaching I do, from executives to managers to regular employees, I will tell you that there seems to be no in-between right now. And what I mean is, you're either a person that really cares about your work-life balance, that's putting yourself first, that's advocating for your time and saying no to things, and still struggling to make that balance, but you have some balance, or you're just completely wiped out all the time between your responsibilities for work, finances, kids, and family. So I'll tell you that as a person that lived in the latter part for 41 years of my life, this is not where you want to be. This is a great article from Fortune magazine. This is about the CEO of Whole Foods Market. And this article is talking about the fact that twice a day he blocks his calendar off to do things that are important to him. And he also uses up all of his PTO every year. And first of all, props to this gentleman for creating a great model for his employees to follow. Because anybody that doesn't believe, whether you're talking about a company, whether you're talking about politics, whether you're talking about religion, whatever kind of organization you're in, that things are not top down, you're fooling yourself. So props to him for putting everything out there to say that, hey, I'm advocating for this, and I'm going to be a good example to my employees, to my investors, to everybody else, to show them that you can have a good balance. So the first thing here, if you are in the latter part where you never have any time, you're constantly exhausted, and you just feel like you're just like a little hamster in a wheel just trying to keep up with life as a race, and that you constantly fall on your face and then take a couple steps over and over and over, kind of that meme. Yeah, I lived there too. I lived there for most of my life. I lived there because I had a great mother who taught me to be, you know, very caring for other people and take care of other people first, and to put other people first. And what that eventually leads to is you not having energy or time for yourself or anybody else. And so you actually have to make a switch, which is one of the hardest things for people in business and in life to do, especially people that have families. And that is that you have to switch to this feeling that I struggled with for years, which was a feeling of being selfish. And when I say selfish, means saying no to things that take your time, that are not right for you in the moment, saying no to things that are not going to benefit you moving forward with your life, with your career, your finances, your health, whatever kind of journey you're on. A biggest part of actually freeing your time up is saying no to other people that want to take your time for things that do not work out for the goals that you have for yourself and your family. So one of the biggest things that when people come to me and they say, well, Matt, like, how do I get my time back? I'm so busy. There's no time for myself. And what he's talking about here is time blocking. What time blocking is literally setting out on your schedule, whether it be a 1-hour workout for yourself every day on your calendar, whether it be that you take 10 minutes to meditate, whether that be that, you know, you go for a run every morning, that you spend a half-hour studying on a topic that is important to you to advance your career or your personal development, whatever it is, actually scheduling that time every day will make a huge difference. Now, are you always going to be able to keep to that schedule? No. But when you default, when you go into just zombie mode and you're just like, okay, what am I doing right now? Okay, I'm supposed to be doing this. It's the same thing as if you try to put someone on a new diet or eating plan. If they are always asking themselves, well, what do I eat now? They're lost. What you literally have to do is write it out and say, this is what you eat at this time every day. And of course, there's going to be some deviation. But the point is that when there's not a thought process, they just go back to what's planned out. And that's what you have to do for yourself, because you can't always be thinking about your goals. You can't always be thinking about where you want to go in life. You can't always be thinking about what you want long-term for yourself. So when you have time, when things are quiet, when you can sit down and write out your goal and all the steps to achieve it, you'll eventually get to the point where you're going to look at this and you're going to say, okay, these are the things that I want in my life. These are the things that I want for my finances. These are the things that I want for my career. These are the things that I want for my health. And these are the things that I want for my personal relationship. And if you're spiritual, also what you want to do spiritually. So you're going to look at those things in life, and you're eventually going to set out what your goals are and all the steps to achieve them. When you do this, you go back, you're going to be able to say, all right, you know, I've got these things that I want to reach, and you put your plan in place and you're going to go after it and chase it down. If you're saying no, if you're planning out your time, you have a much better chance to achieve it. Now, in your companies, if you are a leader in your companies and you're seeing burnout from people, I will tell you that this is a really unfun conversation to have. It's really not fun to sit down with somebody that is telling themselves a story. They have a narrative, and the narrative is something to the effect that I'm so busy, I can never have time to get anything done. I can never have time to plan and focus. I'm just trying to catch up all the time. If you sit down and actually look at someone's time with them, go over their schedule, you'll realize that they're probably wasting a lot of time on things that are not important to the leadership of the organization. There are things that they have developed a story that this is the most important task that they have to do at work. And if you ask their manager or even some of the leadership, they'd say, you don't really need to do that, or you don't really need to spend time on that. That's part of listening. So if you're coming up in a company, listen to what is important to the people above you and focus your efforts in those ways. And if you are not taking care of yourself, if you are not blocking your time, setting your goals and going after them, you are constantly going to be on that hamster wheel that we talked about before. So ultimately, why is this so important to talk about? And ultimately, it's important to talk about because if you don't keep people that work for you and yourself in a good balance, if they're constantly burned out, you're going to churn employees, you're going to have high turnover. Retention is extremely expensive for companies to pay for, much less expensive to spend the money up front to keep the people. Then your people will be happy, healthy, well-adjusted, and if you look at some policies that your HR or your leadership has in place, if you have an unlimited PTO policy, bad idea. People don't take it. People don't use it. People are constantly burned out. If you have people that are saving their PTO up till the end of the year and they're trying to cash it out and they're not taking any time off every year, problem means that number one, you need to look at the wages, and number two, you need to go, why isn't Bob ever take a vacation? And then you'll see that if Bob would take a week off twice a year, Bob would be much happier, more well-adjusted. He'd had much more energy, fresh ideas when he came back to work. And all of us have this feeling, particularly if you're seeing this in America, that we can't take time off, that we can't block off a week for vacation. Go 2 or 3 months down the line when you don't have anything on your schedule yet and block off a week and tell your friends or family, tell your significant other that, you know, we're going to take this week and we're either going to do a staycation, or we're going to drive here, or we're going to fly here, or we're going to cruise here. But put it far enough out about that you can plan for it and that you have to do it. It doesn't have to be super expensive. A week home or a couple days at a hotel a half hour away from your house do wonders for your mental health and your well-being. But if you don't take your PTO, you don't take care of yourself, you will constantly feel burned out. And I'll tell you what, I can't tell you the number of people that have gone through the same kind of journey I have, where they thought they were being nice their whole life. They thought they were taking care of others. And when they actually get to the point where they can't take it anymore and they start to get selfish and they start to say no and they start to stand up for themselves, what happened is you start to realize, gosh, I have all this energy now to be able to develop the ideas that I actually think are important to me. I have the ideas, the energy, the fresh momentum to be able to go after the things that are important to me. But if you're constantly burned out, I'm telling you, you have to fix it for yourself. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to fix this for you. This is yours to fix. So start to say no, start to get selfish, start to get clear on your goals, and start to take time for yourself, because if you don't, nobody else is going to do it for you. And if you think, I don't have time for that, I can't, then you never will, and you'll never get off that hamster wheel. I hope you guys can fix this, and I'd like to know if anybody else has gone through this journey of quote unquote becoming selfish in order to take care of themselves and do better for their families.